Alright, depending on what auction you're looking at, I've got some vintage RC stuff for sale. I've got it installed in an older TC4 that was apparently used for spec racing even before I got it. The main thing are the radios. I've got these are Futaba 3PJ transmitters, which were state-of-the-art transmitters maybe about 15 years ago. So these are older transmitters. At one point in time they belonged to somebody named Tom Meeker. His name's on both of them, and apparently he was a pretty serious racer because he's got this radio here with a transmitter module in it. These are FM radios, and he's got the 75 megahertz module in this one, and then he had just a completely spare radio in case he had a problem with that. I also have the Futaba battery pack that goes in these, but I never had a connector to charge this with, so I don't know if it'll charge or not. That's probably about as clear as I can be about that. It may work, it may not, but I've never had an opportunity to charge it. Also, there's a PCM 1024 receiver in the car, and there's two additional PCM 1024 receivers. Apparently he had multiple setups. Like I say, I've had this stuff for about I probably had this stuff for about two and a half years, something like that, and I actually wanted to buy the TC4. I bought the TC4 off eBay for having another TC4, but it came with all this stuff. But there's also 3 sets of crystals for this FM transmitter. What's in the transmitter and receiver is an 84 set. There's an extra 84 set, and then there's a 71 set, which is a difference in the frequency in the 75 megahertz frequency band. The 71 set is 75.610. The 84 set is 75.870. And again, there's another 84 set in the receiver and the transmitter. So and as well as there's 2 instruction manuals, and these are given the complexity of the transmitter and all the capabilities that provided. And keep in mind too, this was technology 15 years ago, around 1995, 1996, something like that. These were pretty capable radios, you know, equivalent. Yeah, well, I won't say they don't have the features that today's racing radios have, like all the Futabas and the Airtronics, or the any of the high-end radios. But this was the high-end radio of the time. But I've used this radio quite a bit. There is a lot of adjustability to it. It does run real well. And well, I'll plug this up. What I've just got a 2S LiPo battery in here, and I'll turn this on here and then turn the radio on, and you can see this thing works just fine. I've used it a good bit. raced with it a little bit. You know, it's got a 19 turn element spec motor. I think that's Team Orion motor. With just I mean, and this is an old original Rooster reversible. Again, we're going back several years in RC technology, and it's also the servo is a fairly large servo. It's a JR NES L402. I've tried to research it on the internet, but hadn't found much information on it, so I'm assuming it dates probably back as far as the radio itself or the speed control too. But I've used the transmitter pack in both radios. Both radios work good. The functions on the screen, I don't know if the camera will pick the screen up or anything, but the functions all work well. The steering, the throttle trim, all seems to work well. I haven't really had any problems with this thing, with this, as much as I've used it, and again, it's mainly been playing around with it and everything, and just running this. But I thought I'd go ahead and put this out there to see if there'd be anybody interested in some vintage RC stuff, especially given as complete as this is, and it's in good working condition. Currently, I've just got 8 AA batteries in here, and it does just fine with that. But there's no glitches to it or anything. It seems to work just fine. Now also, like I say, depending on which auction you're looking at, I've got this Rooster speed control out there. Again, this is an original Rooster from several years ago, along with let's see, this Element 19 turn motor, which the brushes are in great shape. Seems to run real well. It's got good speed. It seems real torquey. But they'll all be out on eBay in separate auctions. And you know, again, I'm selling it as is because it is old stuff. But again, I've had it for some time and used it a good bit. Hadn't had any problems with it. I mean, I guess if you walk out the door and drop it on the driveway, there's a good chance you may have a problem with it. But as long as it gets handled carefully and everything, and just like with any other electronic stuff, it should work just fine. So, did want you to see that. With the radios, I'll be shipping. You'll be bidding on both radios. The transmitter module. And the spare radio, all the crystals, the battery pack, the additional receivers along with this receiver. So you'll get 3 receivers, you'll get 3 sets of crystals, the 2 manuals, the battery pack, and the 2 radios. And so, if you're trying to put together something, an old school piece, and if you just have an interest in vintage stuff, I think this is a pretty good package here. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to price it through the roof because, again, it's old stuff. It's probably something you're going to get out and play with. And the radios maybe could use a little bit of cleaning up, but I've dusted them off a little bit and just made sure they were working good. And other than cleaning them up, and checking out the functions and everything. And to be honest with you, these radios are a little more complex than what I even need. But I've got everything switched over to 2.4 gigahertz, and don't really have a need for these. And I just want to put this stuff out there for anybody that maybe have a greater interest in vintage RC stuff than I do at this point in time. Maybe something I may regret that I've sold later on, but sometime you need room. But that's the case. Check it out on eBay if you have some interest in it. Definitely bid on it. when I ship this stuff, I'll get it bundled up good, you know, so you'll get it in good condition, and ship it priority mail or ship it UPS, one of the two. And yeah, I think it'll be something, you know, you can enjoy if you, again, if you have interest in vintage stuff. But thanks for looking at that auction, and I'll be looking forward to your bids. Okay, thanks a whole lot.